Functions in JavaScript are reusable blocks of code designed to perform specific tasks. They allow you to organize, reuse, and modularize code. Now, I'm going to use this as an example for you. Now, looking at this, code reusability. In the sense that if you declare a particular function in one part of your code, you can reuse it in multiple aspects of the code. Now, this might sound a little bit vague, but maybe you don't really understand it. But when we get to then, I'm very sure that you understand what I'm talking about. Now, readability allows your code to be readable. Now, let me just create a little function. So if I say function, these are the create your function, by the way. You have what? Function. Now, let us say function to what? Multiply numbers. Right? And this is a function, right? So in this function, we're going to have, let me give you two parameters. Let me say A and what? B. And I'm going to say return A times what? Let me leave this. Let's say console.log. Let's return it. Return A times what? Times B. Do you understand? Now, outside here, I now have console log multiply numbers. I can now have what? 5 and 2. So let's say 5 and 2. Now, what was this print out? Basically, what this will print out is what? 5 times 2. This is going to give you what? 10. Now, if you go ahead and check out now, what exactly are we going to have? So let's check it out. As you can see, you have 10. Why? Because automatically it has detected that you get these two parameters, A and B, right? And then you return what? A times what? B. You understand? Now, if you come to log, I think this is actually very, very, very hard for now. Let me give you a much more simplified example. So if you have multiply each user, right? Now, let me first of all have name right here. I don't like the part that's giving me. So let's say let the name equals what? Let's give it a prompt. Just like what we did. Now, what am I doing? I'm saying that whenever user enters their name, what's going to happen is that we're going to print out user name to what? To the console. That's the function. Right? So we can now have what? Enter name. Enter your name. So now you can have a function that takes in this name and brings it to what? To the console. So right now we can have what? Since you have let name equals what? Prompt enter name. We can now say what? Console.log. We can have console.log. And let me have my backticks. So that's the hello. My name is name. Let me check this user. It's not name here. So user name. So let me come here. I'm going to check this. User. Now, as you can see, what have I just done? What I have done is that I created a username, let prompt equals what? Enter name. Now, once I enter my name, I can have console.log, hello, your name is what? Whatever user brings here. Now I can come here and I can declare my function. I can say greet user. Just declare my function. Now, come here and check out. What exactly? So I'm going to refresh. Okay, that was a typo. So it's supposed to be from. Yeah, so let's check it out. So if I refresh this, okay, let me refresh this again. Now, if I say Paul, all I have, hello, your name is Paul. And that's the function, isn't it? The function is saying that whenever a user increases their name, automatically what gets applied to the function is hello. And this is what function is. Function is saying that if a particular user has done something like this, certain things should happen. You understand? The particular user clicks on something, certain things should happen. Now, let me give you a much more practical example. I'm going to go to my HTML. Now, this is going to look a little bit new. So, I'm going to go to my HTML and I'm going to say button. So, let me create a button and let me say click me. Right? Now, using click me, I'm going to give this an ID of click btn. Click btn. Right? Now, what exactly am I going to do? And I'm going to have an H1 here that says what? That has an ID of what? Result. Now, this is what I want to do. What I want to do is that whenever a user that prompt shows, isn't it? Now, immediately that prompt shows, immediately I press in my username, right? Sorry, this is what should happen. Immediately I click on this button, the prompt is going to show. Enter your name, right? Now, once I now press in my name, what happens? Certain things that particular name will now come and provide this particular H1. Now, if you check in your browser now, so let's check your browser. And let's see what you have. Now, as you can see, what you have here is what? Now, if I press this click me, that is when that prompt is going to show. Now, once the prompt shows, I'm going to write my name to spoil, and then it gets output in this place rather than in the console. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? That's the function. Now, how do I do that? I can come right here now, and I can say, let username equals what? Prompt enter. Now, I can remove this. Now, I cannot say prompt. Now, just don't worry about this. Just try to understand what I'm doing. So this is click btn. So I cannot say click btn equals what? Documents dot get elements by ID. And I cannot say what? What's the name of it?
So I just wear btn.
Click btn. This here is btn. You definitely understand what I'm doing. btn. Now, once this particular thing gets clicked, what happens? A particular function happens. Now I can use this particular function for this. So I cannot say what? btn, which is this, btn dot add event listener. So I can say add event listener, and I can say click. So the event was click, then I can have a function. So if I say function, so let's just create this. Now that function is not going to be what? Prompt enter name. Enter your name. Sorry, I'm coming. Enter your enter your name. Right? Now I have this particular prompt here. Now, whenever this particular prompt now works. Okay, sorry, that was a mistake. So constitution name equals what? Enter name. Now, this is what? ID of result. Isn't it? Now, whenever that happens, I can now also have results here, and I can say result result will now be equals to document dot get element by ID also dot get element by ID. And I can say what? Result. There's something wrong with this thing. Let's continue. So we have what? Result. Now I cannot easily come here and I can say what? Result dot inner text or inner HTML. Let me use inner HTML instead. Inner HTML will be equals to what? Let me use backtick. Hello. Good. Hello, Paul. User name. Hello. So I can see. All right, good. Now, this is everything I need. Now, let me go over and explain everything so that you understand what I'm trying to say. So first of all, you have the word HTML right here. And your HTML, you have an ID of what? Click button. Which means that whenever you click this button, a particular prompt should show. Do you understand? Now, you now have a result, which should display the name. That's the result name. Now, in your app.js, I brought in the what? BTN. That's what? ID. What's the name of the ID? Click BTN. I need to check it out. Click BTN. That's what I brought in. Then also, ID again, get me my ID of what? Result. Get me my ID of what? Result. Sorry, let me remove this result. Okay. Now, results, right? Now, what did I now say? I now said, I'm not creating a particular function that greets the user. Now, this particular button is now listed for an event. So start the event very simply. We listen for an event, which is basically what? A click event. Then you now get the function. What's the function here? Basically, what the function is saying is that what? The username, the user should get a prompt or what? Enter name. Whenever the user what puts in their name, you now must result of inner HTML hello username. Welcome to our website. And I'm going to call out my function. Now let me give you a practical example of what I'm saying. If I refresh this now, you notice no prompt is going to appear again. So let's just wait for it to reload by itself. Now, I see no prompts automatically appear. Let me quickly this place. When I click what happened, enter your name. Then if I put Paul, what's going to happen? Hello, welcome to our website. That's the function. Do you understand? That's actually how functions work. If I refresh it again and let's try it again. If I say click me, enter your name. If I have what? Paul, what's going to happen? Hello, Paul, welcome to our website. Let's try another. I'm already program code again. So let's say demon wizard. Is it demon or demon? Demon wizard, I mean, okay, wizard. So as you can see, hello demon wizard, welcome to our website. Now this is how function work. Function is saying that okay, certain things are set in place for certain actions to occur. You understand? Certain codes are written for certain actions to occur. Now this is a little bit above of the examples I'm supposed to be giving you at this stage, but I just want you to understand what functions do. You understand now? So I think you should get the idea of what functions do. For now, you understand? Don't try and understand like connected to HTML. Leave that for now. But do you understand what the functions are about? Is it clear to you? Is it clear? Yes. All right. Now let me give you a much more simpler example to work with. So you can have what? Function, let's say the function to multiply two numbers. So we can have function again. So we can now say multiply numbers. You understand? So multiply numbers. Now I can now have two numbers that says what? Console.log. Let's define two numbers here. Let's let A equals to 10, right? Let B equals to 20. Do you understand? Like I can have console.log. I can have console.log A times B. Press multiplication times B. Now what have I just done? I've set the value of A to 10, value of B to 20, right? Then I now want to multiply numbers. Now this name does not actually matter. I'm just like a variable name, trying to show what exactly you're trying to do. I can give it any name, but the name that actually makes sense in this case is what? Multiply numbers. Why? Because I'm trying to multiply numbers. Do you understand now? So I'm saying what? Console.log A times B. Now what's going to happen? Automatically it is going to work. Now I'm going to ask you a question. Will this function work?
Yes.
It will work, right? Why will it work?
Because A is 10, B is 20, so it will multiply.
Okay. Just to cut the long picture, it's not going to work. Why? Because for you to work with your functions, you need three things, which is what I'm going to talk about now. For your function to work, The first thing is what you need to what, first of all declare your function. You need to first of all declare your function, right? That's the first thing. And how do you declare your function? You have your function, multiple numbers, multiply numbers. Then you have your brackets, and then your curly braces. And this is how you declare your function. I'm going to write it out for you now. And you're going to have, so this is how you declare. So you have your function, and then you have function name. Do you understand? And then I'm going to have this, and then your curly braces. And this is exactly how you declare your function. This is clear to everybody. Is that first part clear?
Yes.
It's not clear. Okay. For you to use function at any point, or for you to use your function, you need to put three things into consideration. First is you need to declare your function. And how do you declare your function? You first of all write your function keyword, function name comes next, and then your bracket. Is that bracket? Yes. Or parentheses. Then you have your curly braces. Now, this is how you first of all declare your function. Now, again, the first thing you need to do is to declare your function. That's the first thing. And how do you declare your function? You have your function, the function keyword, and then your function name. Like I did here. I have my function keyword. And what's my function name? Multiply numbers. Then I have parentheses and curly braces. Now, the next thing is that that's number 2. And number 2 is that you need to that's your code block, or instead of your code block, you can say your argument. So you can have arguments slash code to be executed. Now, what are your arguments? Your argument is saying that, okay, what exactly you want to happen? Now, in that particular code, I wanted my function to take in a parameter, that's a prompt, that asks users, okay, enter your name. Whenever a user clicks on the particular button, something should happen. And what do I want to happen? That particular prompt should appear, which was enter name. Then after they enter their name, a result should be printed out that prints out their name. Do you get it? That's a particular argument. That's the argument I want to happen. So understand that if that particular button is clicked, then function should be executed. And what's the function? The prompt should come up. And the prompt comes up, what's the next function? The result should be displayed. Now in this case, what's my argument? This is my argument. My argument is that what? After I've declared my function, then I should be able to multiply these two values outside. Do you understand? That's your argument. Now the first thing is what? Declare your function. Second thing is what? Your code. Code should be executed. That's your argument. That's your function. That's exactly your function. Is it clear to you? That's how functions work. Now the third thing is that what? Now we've done those two things, right? Those are the two things that we did here, isn't it? Can you see it? We've declared our function and we're doing an argument. Now, good, that's calling the function. Now, it's just like saying that you have a child. You want to send the child on an errand. What do you do? First of all, you call the child, you play the child, right? So, you tell the child that, okay, hey, I need you to go and do this. You tell the child what that's your argument. This is what I want you to do. Then you send the child on an errand. Okay, go ahead and what? Do this thing. Don't understand now. That's exactly how it works. So the first thing that you call your function, you declare your function. Second thing that you give that particular function an argument. Then the third thing that you need to call that function for that function to work. So if you do not call the function out, the function is not going to know that you are actually sending on an errand. So how do you call your function? You call this particular function name. So I can come here, which is my function, and I can say what? Call your function. And how do you call your function? You have a function name. Now, As you can see, I added parentheses to it. This is how you call your function. Now let me give you a practical example of what I'm saying. I can say let A equals to 10. Let B equals to 20. Right? Then I can say console.log. Sorry, I was a mistake. Then I can say function should multiply numbers. Multiply them, right? Then we can have. So how do we declare our argument? We want to multiply two numbers. So to do that, we can say console.log A times plus B. Isn't it? That's our argument. What's the last thing? What's the last thing on the agenda now?
Multiply number.
Call your function. How do you call this function again?
Multiply number, then open
Multiply what?
number.
Num. Then you put the parentheses. Now this is how you call your function. This is how your function works. First things first, declare your function. And how do you declare your function? Call your function keyword and declare your function name, just like your variable name. Parentheses, there was open your curly braces. Then inside of those curly braces where your argument goes into. Then the last thing was call out your function for it to work. Now if you check out how this is now, what you have, so now your function works. Do you get it now? That's your argument. That's your argument. Alternatively, I can use something like I can say return. I say return A times B. Then I can put this inside of console.log. Say console.log this. Do you understand? Now this return keyword. This return keyword is saying that you actually want to print out or you want to give out a particular result. And what is the result? You are returning the result, which is what? 8 times. Alternatively, I can just use your console or use whatever statement I can use. I can use prompts, I can use events, which we get to as soon as possible. But do you understand the functions? I need to know. Is it clear to you? It's sure. It's not clear. What's not clear?
Last one, so because I will bring out.
Which last part? Is just this one that I did, or everything in the last part? Everything. What else is not there? Okay, let me explain it again for the last time. So, what am I saying? What exactly I was explaining is how you declare your function. So, first of all, you need to know how to declare your function, how to write a function. And how do you write your function? The first thing is what? Declare your function. So, first thing is what? Declare function. And I have declare function. That's the first thing. And how exactly do you declare your function? Easily. What you write your function keyword, right? And then your function name. Then parentheses and curly braces. That's the first thing. That's the first thing you do. First of all, write up the function keyword and then your function name. Now, next thing is that what? You want to write the code to be executed. The code to be executed. Executed. The code to be executed or your function or your argument. Your function is actually like that particular block of code to perform. Do you understand? Now that's the second thing I need to do. And the third thing is that what? You need to call out your function for it to work. So call your function. So for a function to work, you need to call out the name. Oh, Paul, I want to do this. You understand? That's basically how the function works. Now, let me give you an example of what I'm saying. An example of multiplying numbers. So what am I saying? You have a function, right? I want to create a function that multiplies two numbers. So I can say function, and I can say multiplying numbers. Then I have my what? My curly braces, and then I have this. Do you understand? Just the normal way. I've declared my function and I've done this. Then I can add this particular, I can say console.log console.log. I can add what? A times what? B. But A times B is not defined. Right? So I can come right here and I can say let A plus what? Plus 10. And let B plus 20. You get it? Now, what will be the answer here? Answer now will be what's going to be your output?
10 times 20.
Are you sure it's not 200? Look at the code very well. Just this job. Look at the code very well. What will be the output of this code? Look at the three parameters that I give you. Then look at this code. Does it actually align with the rule of the parent function? If it does, then tell me what's going to break out. If it doesn't, tell me what's going to break out. Okay, that means it does align, right? What are the three major things I said? My function is that. Declare a code. That's one. What's the second one? Okay.
Then all your functions.
Does this one now like align with those three parameters?
No, I think I'm not calling.
Exactly. You're not calling it. That's the last. And how do you call your function? Call it outside of that function. So what's the function name now? What's the function name you're supposed to call?
A times B.
No? Look at it again. Say it, just say what comes to your mind. Just look at it and say it.
If that last function was
Multiply numbers. That's the function name. You understand? Multiply numbers. So you can have what? Multiply. Okay? Multiply numbers. And then you make sure you close up your parentheses. And this parenthesis is going to make sure that it's a function. If you don't put it, it's not going to recognize that a function. So it's telling me to call your function. To call it, you need to put your parenthesis there to signify that, okay, this right here is the word function. And this is what you're going to do. This is everybody now. These are the pair your function. These are the call and deploy your function. Then check it out. You should have 200. Now, similarly, your function can also take in what we know as what? Parameters. Now, your parameters are like your variable names. So what am I saying? Everybody here. The parameters can now be inside of what? The parentheses. Parameters. So the parameters cannot be what? Variable names. So what exactly am I saying? Right here, instead of putting let A equals to 10 and let B equals to 20, I can have something else. I can come here and I can say what? A, comma what? A, comma what? B. Do you understand? So I can have here, I can say what? A, comma B, I can delete this one. So right here now, I've set two parameters in my code. Everybody listening to this. I've set two parameters in my code, A, comma, B. Now, your A and B now was like your variable name. Do you get it now? So if I come right here and I say console log 10 times log 20, what is going to happen? Automatically, it's going to recognize 10 as what? A, 20 as what? B. So if you go ahead and check this out and you have what? 200. Is it clear to you? Those are what parameters are, basically. Parameters are basically what? Just variables that you can set to your function. Now, this is just the basic thing that you need to know in function.
What of the reusability?
Huh?
The reusability.
What do you mean?
The reusability of function.
Okay, good. Reusability of functions is that you can reuse it in other blocks of code. So what am I saying now? We'll get there actually. We'll definitely need to use other functions. But you know what? Let me just create a particular function. And that function is going to display a particular text. For okay, you know what? Write this down, guys. I'm going to show you what happening. So let me stop recording.